hope all is well. I need to do one thing though. Let me check my settings here. Stream. Why is that not showing up? Oh, okay. Never mind. um, my microphone's being weird. Anyway, let's see. Let me get back here so you can see me better. There we go. I hope you had a good weekend. This time, Facebook decided to behave itself today. I don't know why it was buffering last Friday. I think it had some issues. Hey, Dorothy, good seeing you. How are things in Florida? Oh, my ears itch. Last night, speaking of news and everything, first things first, the Crew 8, SpaceX Crew 8, NASA, the partnership between NASA and SpaceX, Crew 8 went up last night, and they should be arriving at the International Space Station sometime before midnight tonight. They had a lot of catching up to do because the day before yesterday they should have been here by now. But knowing the space station goes around, they have to find out the trajectory of when it's going to get there and everything. So anyway, they're on their way up. Crew 7 comes home in a week. So because they're finishing their 6 months stint. Every 6 months a new crew goes up. So, but this time these guys don't have to worry about major holidays per se, like Christmas, New Year's, and everything. But hey, they're good to go. Now another thing too. Before I start my new stint here, I just put on order my new glasses, and they should be here in a couple weeks. Because the current pair I have right now, I can't see out of much anymore. So my eyes really have changed on this. So it should be it should be a lot better. So be prepared for my new look, and I'll be getting my hair cut this month too. So, okay. As for today, I heard on the news. It just came through Midas Touch earlier when I got up. Supreme Court just ruled that states cannot remove people from the ballot. They can't seem to make up their mind. They say, oh, well, states have rights. States have rights. And yet when they turn around and do this, they say, no, states don't have rights. Well, but really he who shall not be named did. He was at that time officer of the United States. He was the president of the United States. Was. Okay. No, it's not no states' rights. It's just that they are looking at the what's the name? It's in the Constitution regarding insurrection, and this rule was set up after the Civil War. If you remember your history, remember when this. Back in 1860, a good majority of the states seceded from the Union, remember? And this was the start of, I'm sick of him too, start of the Civil War. Well, after the war was over and the Union side won, which was us, since we lived in the North, there was a clause put in there that no officer of the government cannot commit insurrection, try to overthrow the government, and everything else. Well, look what Trump did. But he kept saying, "I'm not officer of the government." Well, yeah, you were. You were president of the United States. President, quote unquote president. Not true president, but president. Um, my only true president is President Biden. Okay. He knows how things work. Trump never learned the job properly. He doesn't know how things work, right? And he never learned. So what they said, when Colorado Supreme Court ruled that Trump can be removed from the ballot, because it said right there in the Constitution what he did, and there was proof that he did it. The Supreme Court turned around. What happened was Trump's side, they appealed the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court turned around today and ruled that Colorado ruling is unconstitutional, which is stupid. It's really stupid. And these guys seem to ignore some of the Supreme Court justices ignore the fact that resurrection was just happening just 2 blocks, or about a block or 2 blocks from the courthouse, right? And they're so blind. They're so stupid. And if I were Judge Roberts, I would have said, no, throw the case out and it stands. Because it was ruled in Colorado, it should stay in Colorado, and that's it. And yes, states do have rights, but there are certain laws that do trump states' laws. Of course, each state is different, right, guys? Each state has a different setup. It depends on their industry, depends on each state individual or situation, right? So, I know it sounds confusing, and there was, of course, Trump was on the Washington primary ballot, but I voted for Biden, and I go, you should not vote for this idiot at all. I mean, Trump is not really there, per se, okay? But I think now, once the Senate and the House, flip seats and go totally blue, you know what they should do? The Judicial Committee need to go in and remove some of those justices and say, no, we're going to do some changes, rule changes. And what they should do is have the judges serve only 8 years, or every 4 years or whatever, what their term is, and it should not be a lifetime appointment for their jobs. It should be every 4 years. Or they have to retire at age 65 and that's it. Okay? Or age 70 or whatever, 69 or 70, or age 69, let's put it this way. And they have to retire. And a new set have to come in. But they have to be super knowledgeable of how the Constitutional works and how it's being interpreted. When I read the Section 3, 14th Amendment, Section 3, that's what I was looking for. I was looking for the section number. 14th Amendment, Section 3 states that no officer of the U.S. government can conduct an insurrection or an attempt to overthrow the government in any shape or form. Okay? But they're making this ruling to support Trump. That is stupid. They should stay out of politics. They have no business. They should look at the law, not, whatever Trumpy wants. I mean, I'm sorry, I hate the guy. I'm sick of him as you are, Dorothy, and, some people can't seem to think, like, for example, yesterday my church voted to leave the, Presbyterian Church USA, denomination, chose to leave it. because the Olympia Presbytery they have their requirement to hold a trust or whatever, and they own the property buildings down here. They own our church down here. But they won't put in the money to keep the church up what they were supposed to, because our end of the deal was supposed to keep the church maintained. Well, when it starts aging and starts having other issues, we need the uh, Olympia Presbytery to help with the cost of getting it fixed and getting it updated and everything. Well, they wouldn't lift a finger. And we go, well, fine. Tell you what, we're going to leave and um, pay whatever the trust is on that and get out of this trust system because it's not helping, and move to another denomination that believes in every church congregation owns their own buildings, their own property, and had control over their own property. But we voted yesterday to decide to leave the PCUSA and go with ECO. And ECO is made up of all kinds of other denominational churches because of similar problems and everything else. We want more freedom to decide our own conscience and not some other main organizational conscience trying to tell us what to do. Because each area is different. So I'm kind of glad that's happened. I really am. Because right now, our church is having structural issues. It was built in... Church was... Originally, our church... Now get this, there's the history behind it. Our church used to be a hardware store. Like an Ace Hardware store, except it was a local hardware store. It used to be Lakewood Hardware. It was built in the... I don't know when the building was built, but it was built a long time ago. It was built like in the 1920s, 1930s, somewhere in there. And then the couple that owned the building, the wife wanted to start a church there because there weren't very many churches in Lakewood at that time. And so she did that, and of course she was raised Presbyterian. And so she made the church, Presbyterian church, and they fixed it, and it was like in the 1930s. Well, after much conversion and everything else, the couple wanted to retire from the hardware business, what they wanted to do. And so they converted the building into a church, and in 1939 they held the first service there. But it was tough during the Depression. It really was. But they persevered, they worked through it, and they were able to set it up. Well, there have been a number of additions and everything, and it started with the church, and that's when they did the additions and everything. Still trying to keep the style of the building. And in the 50s, there was a new Prairie Hall and preschool classes put in, and a fellowship hall and everything built there, added onto it. Well, now we're having severe structural issues, and we found out that the building, when they did the Prairie Hall area, the walls, asbestos at that time was used as a insulator. Well, it has asbestos in there, and we need to get rid of it, okay? We already got several of our church members developed cancer. So we're doing this as a safety issue. Of course, after our pipes broke a couple months ago, everything started manifesting itself. So now we hope to get the project going and, do renovations and do what we need to do. Okay. Now, on to other things. As you know, there's been wild weather. Over the weekend, California, especially in the Sierra Madre Mountains, Sierra Nevada mountains, were hit by blizzard and heavy snow. Some of the towns had to evacuate. Some were okay, but they're kind of buried under. Especially up in Donner's Pass, had a lot of snow. Well, in the meantime, in the northern panhandle of Texas and Oklahoma, there's been a real nasty, um, brush fire, wildfire, whatever you call it, that occurred, and it killed a couple people and killed a lot of beef cattle because they had nowhere to go. Um, which is really, really kind of sad. It really is, and devastating to the beef farmers and everything. And so, of course, you now know when that happened, our price of beef is going to go up unless you go somewhere else to get your beef. Like up here in Washington State, we have beef cattle farms up here too, especially east of the mountains. So, it makes things tough. Now, and the next thing, old Trumpy is up against a financial wall. He cannot move his money anywhere. He was thinking about dipping into the RNC, Republican National Committee, and everything to get the money from them. And he was trying to get hold of the stock money on the merger in order to pay for his stupid mistake, if you will. Yeah, I know, but still, the price of beef and everything, it depends on what kind of cattle you have, whether you have beef cattle, beef bred cattle that are bred for beef, or milk cows, or Texas Longhorns are not really used for beef because their meat's a little bit different. Okay, beef cattle. Okay, like the black Angus and the white faced cattle. Yeah. Now we got cattle here. We have when I lived in Roy, we had a neighbor who owned white faced cows, and he had two bulls. And one of his bulls' name was Trouble. He lived up to his name. The other bull's name was Escape Artist. An escape artist knew how to open gates. He opened the gate, let himself out, and he wandered over to where, at that time, we were the only house on our road. So, escape artist came over to graze, and I go, okay, escape artist. So I closed the one back gate so the horses don't come up the front gate where he is. I opened the one gate and I said, go on in, eat your grass, get some water, and I'll call your owner. Yeah, yeah. Well, luckily our farms here, especially Wilcox Farms, Dorothy, Wilcox Farms and Smith Brothers Farms, and one other farm down in Oregon. So far they're okay. Okay. They haven't had any cases of bird flu, but it depends on where it is and everything, where it's congregating and everything else. So it's been kind of tough in the agricultural industry as a whole, both the chickens and the beef and pigs and everything else. So things will hopefully stop and even out in the end. But anyway, back to he who shall not be named, Trump. We also have the news. Also in the news on Saturday, when Washington D.C. held its first primary. Guess who won the primary? Nikki Haley, she beat him out. He got, I think, he had like 10% of the vote, and she had like 30 votes. She did pretty good. So he lost that because Washington, D.C. is considered one of the other key areas. Well, he kept, Trump kept haranguing at, the voters and people and everything else. You know how he was acting. And they go, well, fine, we'll go with Nikki. Bye. You know. I think now more and more people are sick and tired of me. It's the hardcore MAGAs, which is a very, very small number. I mean, it's so small, it's not even funny. Uh, they're sticking with him, but they're so blind to see what he's doing or saying. Well, when he held that one rally over the weekend, I don't know which state it was, he was having uh, speech and cognitive issues, and I kind of wonder if he's not starting to have mini stroke issues, uh, dementia, and everything else. Sometimes it causes mini strokes, and he brings this all onto himself. That's what he does, and you think the guy would learn? You know, he should know by now. These are the rules. These are the laws. They're put there for a purpose. You can't, you know, run roughshod over people. But him being a narcissist, they won't listen to that. They'll just keep on doing what they're doing and they get themselves further into trouble. And I don't know. I just wish I wish they just convict him and put him in jail and just, we don't hear a peep out of him again. And I'm pretty sure when that happens, his followers will crawl back under a rock where they came from. Because they came out from under a rock when he started giving them permission. Yeah, you could do this and do this and do this. Okay. It's now been 4 years, and per presidential rules, he's supposed to put up a presidential library and everything else. And he has not done any speeches where he gets paid to do speeches, because that's what most presidents do. Or they focus on a philanthropic, um, to philanthropy work or whatever. Not Trump. He's too selfish. And anyway, even the President's Club won't accept him at all. Okay, there are now 3 presidents. Let's see: Carter, Clinton, President Obama, and President Bush. There's 4 living presidents left. Okay. Um, President Carter is not doing so well. Okay, he's getting up there. He's almost 99 years old. That's pretty good. And of course, it's been not quite a year yet since he lost his wife Rosalind last year. And of course, President Bush he's doing okay, but he's having arthritis issues right now, and I know where he speaks on that. It's not fun. Of course, President Obama, he's still keeping in shape, playing basketball, and he coaches the girls' school team and everything else. Hey, great! He's doing community service and he's doing community work. Uh, Even President Biden, he's busy trying to keep this country together and doing things. And I can understand the legacy or not focusing more on Biden, what he's doing, what he's trying to accomplish, that instead of keep focusing on Trump. And Trump needs to be ignored. Okay, he really does. I'm tired of him. And they go, well, no, then nobody keep an eye on him. Well, with narcissists like Trump, you just don't want to give them any attention. They don't need it. My view. So anyway, okay, well, since this worked perfectly today, since last Friday it was in this buffering mode, because I was trying to get it to work last Friday, it kept buffering and kept buffering and kept buffering. So I don't know, Facebook was having issues because the storm coming in, because they're, Menta's down in Menlo Park, California. So I would imagine it was probably the storm's issue that was causing that. So anyway, I will see you guys on. Let me check my calendar. Hold on a second. Calendar. Okay, I will see you on March 6th. Same time, same station. Have a wonderful evening. Take care, stay safe, keep an eye to the sky because pretty soon tornado season will be starting and it's not going to be fun for everybody. Mother Nature's still pissed at us. So, anyway, love you guys and be sure to insist, persist, and push back. Share. And I will post this on my YouTube channel. I still have 52 subscribers, but I need more subscribers. I need to get there where I could go live on Facebook, and then live on YouTube. And if I can't go live on YouTube, then I can't switch over there yet. But if I do go live on YouTube, or when I qualify for that, then I could say adios to Facebook and go to YouTube and go live there. Okay. But so far, Facebook has not been giving me any problems with my channel. So, which is good, because I have firm things set in place. Okay, I'll see you later. I love you all, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Okay? Bye-bye.